Yo, what's up? What is up, everybody? How you guys doing? It's been a while. It has been a while. Let me check, make sure the stream is running. Oh, yeah, it is, I think. What's up, everybody? How are you guys doing? Timmy, what's up, bro? What's up, Womack? How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? It's been a minute. I've been really busy with classes. Had a lot of exams this week. Still really busy with classes, if I'm gonna be completely honest with you. But I wanted to do a stream today. Because it's been a while, and wanted to just talk about Jujutsu Kaisen. A little later on, we might talk about some other stuff too, like maybe One Piece, Hunter x Hunter, really. But yeah, I wanted to talk about some Jujutsu Kaisen hot takes today. I am pretty tired though. I had exams yesterday until like 9 p.m. It was all day. And I only slept a few hours. But yeah, I wanted to do a stream though because just haven't done stuff in a while. Haven't done like YouTube stuff for a little bit. What's up, Timmy? How you doing? Womack, Gabriel, Rob. How are you guys all doing? I'm doing pretty good, bro. But yeah, there's a lot to talk about, man. There's a lot of different like types of Jujutsu Kaisen hot takes. And there's really like a lot to talk about. So if you guys got some JJK hot takes, write them in the chat and we can talk about those. And I can talk about a few of my own as well. Maki beats Yuki. When I think about wait, did you say Yuki or Yuji? Yuki? Maki beating Yuki isn't that bad of a take, honestly. So here's the thing that with Maki and Toji specifically, right? Like, Soul Split Katana allows them to beat people that they would otherwise lose to. And it just gives them an easier win condition over like most people in JJK, because all they have to do is hit their opponent one time. Meanwhile, like, okay, let me word it like this, right? Anytime Maki or Toji have to fight someone who's relative to them, they're more likely to win. Anytime they fight someone relative to them. Almost any time. The reason for that is because all they have to do is land one attack on their opponent to win. Meanwhile, in many cases, the person who's relative to them has to land a lot of attacks on Toji or Maki to win. So their win condition is just like easier for them. Yo, what's up, Anno? How you doing? But yeah, I'll be reading off like some of your guys' hot takes and talking about them for a bit. And then I also have some of my own that I was thinking of that I wanted to talk about too. You said slept for like a week when your exams finished. Yeah, bro, that's understandable, man. They are very tiring. They're very tiring. I'm done with like my exams right now, but I still have some programming projects due that I got to do. That's going to take a long time, but it's a lot less stressful than the exams were. So let me see what else you guys got here. You said OMG Lilo stream. Hot take is Maki beats Yorozu if we're counting the Maki ones. So, yeah, I mean, Yorozu actually is really strong. She's underrated. Scales, like, considerably above Jogo based on her feats against Maguna. So, like, if you look at Jogo versus 15-finger Yuji Kuna, Jogo wasn't able to land a single attack on Sukuna the entire fight. but Yorozu like is kind of slamming 16 finger Maguna. And you can make an argument that 16 finger Maguna was actually stronger than Yuji Kuna. Like there's some arguments that like I've seen an argument where people say that in Shibuya when Kenjaku casts Idol Transfiguration, like an additional finger gets added to Yuji because Yuji was like born with a finger and it becomes active after he does Idol Transfiguration. I've seen that argument, and I've seen other people say that that finger was always active, so like 15 finger Yuji Kuna was actually 16 finger. I'm not actually sure where I like stand on that, if I think the finger was always active or if it got activated after the Idol Transfiguration in Shibuya. But you could argue that like the Maguna that Yorozu fought was actually a finger stronger than the Sukuna that Jogo fought, and Yorozu lands like multiple hits on him, but Jogo couldn't hit him one time. So she scales above like Jogo in speed and honestly probably power too. That's more debate. Well, no, definitely power if you're including her whole kit. So saying like Maki beats her when there's arguments that Yorozu might even be faster than Maki, I can understand why that would be a hot take. There's a lot of interesting JJK power scaling stuff, right? Like type matchups is something people don't really consider in JJK. Like Maki can beat some people who are stronger than her simply due to Soul Split Katana. That does like Maki, I would say Maki's not actually stronger than Yorozu. I would make that argument, like Yorozu's stats might be better than Maki's. That's a debatable thing, but she does have a chance with the Soul Split Katana. That really is like the big thing that helps Maki a lot. So yeah, I mean, there is arguments for it that Maki could beat Yorozu. Like if I'm making a tier list, I put Yorozu above Maki because Yorozu is just like an overall stronger combatant, I'd argue. Yeah, Maki does have some potential win conditions. Like if she can chop her head off with Soul Split Katana, she would just win. It's basically what I was saying before. It's like Maki, with a lot of people who are relative to her, she just has to land one hit. Meanwhile, the person relative to her has to land multiple hits. You said had a business proposal right after your final written exams. That's really tough. Hot take, EOS Yuji isn't top 15, gets domain dipped by almost every high tier. That's hilarious. I mean, yeah, there is an actual argument for that. Like, his refinement skills might actually not be good, and as a result, he could just get domain dipped by like Ryu or a lot of high tiers. That's funny. Yeah, you could make that argument. Yeah, I mean, bro, there's so many things like that when you talk about Jujutsu Kaisen that people don't really factor in. I mean, like, okay, if you just do enough Jujutsu Kaisen power scaling debates, you'll hear people who are like really adamant about one point contradict themselves like 5 minutes later, right? Because you can make an argument that like you can be stronger than a character but lose to them due to a domain, but you're still stronger than them. Like, for example, Geto, adult Geto, very likely scales above the disaster curses. Like, he's a special grade. Like, okay, like, based on what we know about Geto, right? He's a special grade even without a domain, even without reverse curse technique. He's able to clash with, like, this super strong version of Rika with a death binding vow, and he can actually overpower it. He has like really impressive feats, and there's a good argument that he scales above all the disaster curses, but he might lose to them because they have domains and he doesn't. So it's like, is it fair to say that like Dagon is stronger than Geto, or like start like the moment Mahito gets his domain, is this Mahito instantly stronger than adult Geto? even though adult Geto has like way better feats. Like if you go back and look at that Mahito, Yuji and Nanami at the start of the series nearly killed him. He had to run away. So are you going to say like this Mahito is stronger than adult Geto? Someone who's like a grade 1 sorcerer with like a grade 2 sorcerer helping him victim? You're going to say like he's stronger than Geto just because he has a domain and Geto doesn't? Like, there's a lot of stuff like that in JJK that like gets really contradicting. I would personally say that Geto would like, here, let me pull up the exact version of Mahito I'm talking about. I mean, yeah, let me pull it up. I think it's before the Goodwill event. You said if you talk to enough JJK people, you'll realize half, if not more, of the community didn't comprehend the manga. I mean, honestly, I'm not going to disagree with that, bro. I'm not going to agree or disagree. I'll just let... no comment, actually, is what I'll say on that. Chat, what chapter is Mahito versus Yuji and Nanami? Isn't it? It's like before the Goodwill event, because they don't know Yuji's alive yet. I think it's like, I guess it would be around 27. Let's see. Oh yeah, I got it, bro. Starting to develop that skill of like just knowing where things are in this. So maybe 29. We got a lot of hot takes to talk about, bro. There's so many. Goof Juice, you said, finally, what's up, Leelas? Yeah, it's been a while, bro. It's really been a while. But yeah, any hot takes you guys are putting in the chat, like, I will read them and talk about them. Like, I'll try my best to, like, go through all of them. I have, like, 3 that I wanted to talk about, but, like, we can go through your guys's first. Or at least, like, a good chunk of them. Okay, so this is what I was talking about, bro. Like, what I was saying is, like, people will contradict themselves in Jujutsu Kaisen power scaling a lot, right? Like, on one hand, they'll be like, oh, well, if you get domain diffed, you're weaker. Like, if someone... Okay, no, let me word it like this. A lot of people will say things like, well, if they're more likely to lose the fight, then they are a weaker fighter in JJK. But then you have things like this. This is Mahito. The moment he gets a domain expansion, this Mahito is like he's about to lose to Nanami and Yuji working together. That's it. That's all it's taking to like beat him. And Yuji at this point in the series is not a first grade sorcerer level fighter. He's like it's like grade 2 Yuji and grade 1 Nanami. I'm not even sure if Nanami's in overtime anymore. It might be base Nanami. I'm not 100% sure. Don't quote me on that. He might still be in overtime. I don't remember how long it lasts. But it's like Yuji and Nanami working together can beat this version of Mahito. So a grade 1, grade 2 combo can beat this Mahito. But you can make an argument that this Mahito would beat adult Geto. Okay? So would you like, you guys in the chat, you tell me, would you say that this Mahito is stronger than adult Geto? The adult Geto who's like able to slap around like the original version of Rika and Yuta working together, like slap them around with Playful Cloud and overpower Rika's death beam that's like amped with her love beam that's amped with a death binding vow? I personally would not say so. I personally would say that adult Geto scales above this Mahito. Okay, what do you guys think about that in the chat? I'm looking over and just seeing a list of more hot takes, which is fair. That is the title of the stream. Geto takes this. Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, like, would you guys say that this Mahito is stronger than Geto, even if there's a chance that he would domain diff Geto? I personally would say that Geto is just stronger. Like, if I was making a tier list and I saw this version of Mahito above adult Geto, I'm looking at it thinking, that's pretty weird, you know? It just doesn't seem right. You know what I'm saying? So like type matchups are a thing in JJK. Like there's some situations where like a stronger character can simply lose due to how like domain clashes work, but like they're actually the stronger character. But Mahito does have like some really broken hacks. Like he has like one of the best curse techniques in the story. Sia, you said read Kagurabachi. I have read Kagurabachi, and that manga is great. That manga is great. I really like Kagurabachi, and I'm really looking forward to when it gets animated. But let me go back to reading these hot takes. Let me go back. So I missed a bunch of them. Let me scroll up as high as I can go and see. You said Yuki 1 to 2 shots. Oh, I think that's talking about Yuki versus Maki. Yuki 1 or 2 shots Maki. I think that's hard to prove because we see Maki tank cleave. She tanks cleave from Sukuna, but there are arguments against that because you could say that oh, okay, well, let me word it like this. Maki tanking cleave, there's an argument that she has more durability than Ryu because Ryu could not tank cleave. He got one-tapped by it. And then that would also put her durability above like Yuta and Yuji as well. I actually say that in one of the videos I made in the past. But a counter argument to that is Maki does not actually have cursed energy. So cleave might be less effective against her than it is the other sorcerers. But I need to go back and look. I think Sukuna uses cleave on her after acknowledging that she doesn't have cursed energy. So maybe Sukuna did some like adjustment to the technique where it's equally effective against people without cursed energy. But that's more like a headcanon kind of thing. Let's see. What else did I miss? What else did I miss? I read the Yuji EOS, not top 15. That one was really funny. Anno, you said there's no way this Mahito is stronger. Yeah, that's kind of how I view it too. I actually think if Geto fought this version of Mahito, he's like putting him in a headlock and just like killing him, bro. Like I think he just like low dips him, dude. But like with the domain expansion, that is a real problem. You'd have to assume that Geto has like some kind of anti-domain techniques. Like he might have simple domain, and then maybe he could use his curses domain expansions to like counter the domain expansions of people he's fighting. Like something like that. Like we see with, like, here's something I thought, right? Like with Uzumaki, we see that you're able to take the curse technique of like higher tier curse spirits. So maybe Geto could like also take a domain expansion from a high tier curse spirit. That's more in the headcanon range. Like maybe if one of his curse spirits has a domain, he could use Uzumaki and then use their domain. But all of that stuff would take time. So I don't know. It kind of sucks that Geto doesn't have a domain, or at least never displays one. There are some other arguments around that though. But, okay, let's see. What else did I miss here? I'm looking for like other hot takes that I missed. Did I miss any? Did I read them all? I might have read them all. If I didn't read your hot take, like type it again and I will read it. Did I miss any? Okay, genuine hot take. Takaba is the most OP character in the franchise, and effectively he's top 1. Kenjaku is just a hard counter for him. Yeah, I mean, he definitely could be. Right? Like, if he just used, like, if he knew what his curse technique was, and, like, actually knew how to use it intentionally, in theory, he could just be top 1. Like, anything that he can warp reality as long as he thinks it's funny. So like if he thinks it's funny to like one-shot Sukuna, he would just one-shot Sukuna in theory, or Gojo as well. Like if he thinks it's funny to like just his punches just bypass infinity and one-shot Gojo, in theory he should be able to do that. So yeah, I mean like he is really broken, to be honest. And you could argue that Kenjaku is just a hard counter to him. But I think like if you blitz Takaba or like off guard Takaba, you could still beat him. And I don't know how he would interact with a domain. I really don't know how he would interact with a domain. Like if Sukuna just uses his like domain expansion on him, what would happen to Takaba? I guess whatever Takaba thinks is funny is what would happen. But it's like, would he be able to register like something he thinks is funny before the domain just instantly obliterates him? I also think like Unlimited Void would also be kind of a hard counter to him, because like just like being hit by it for 0.1 second, he's already like kind of fried. He wouldn't really like have the time to process like what's happening to him for it to be funny in the first place. So I think you can blitz Takaba and beat him. Like if you can beat him so fast that he doesn't register what happened, I think you can just beat him. Okay, another hot take. Yuta is not a special grade. I mean, yeah, that is a hot take. I mean, I'm not really sure how to justify that one. Yeah, because I think, I don't know, there's some hot takes out there that like kind of actually make sense when you really think about them. But like that one is, I don't know if I could justify that one in any way. Kashimo is not top 5. And then also Kashimo is not top 10. Let me think. Is that possible to prove that he's not top 5 or top 10? I'd have to list out 10 people who beat him. And the thing with Kashimo is like he's kind of similar to Maki and Toji, where he has a fast win condition on people who are relative to him. He needs to hit people 4 times and he can one-shot them. Pretty much anyone in the verse is getting one-shot by him. We haven't seen a limitation to, well, let me word it like this. We haven't seen a limitation to who can like tank his lightning sure hit. Like even Sukuna might have taken like serious damage from it if he didn't transform. Let me go to that. Let me see, what chapter was that? It was like, I think it's 237. You said, I said top 10, not top 5. You said, Lilo, it isn't possible. He is top 5. Yeah, so like, I mean, this panel right here, right? Like, while he's in Mythical Beast Amber, he like punches Sukuna, and then he's about to hit him with his sure hit. Like, you can see it in this top panel here. He's about to hit Maguna with this lightning sure hit. And then Maguna just transforms back into his Heian era form. So like this, there's a couple different like implications out of this, right? It implies that like maybe even characters like Maguna can't dodge this, which wouldn't be that crazy because it's like a magnet. It's a magnet to the person's body. So I don't actually know if there's any way you can dodge this or like do anything to it unless you're Gojo, or maybe like I was gonna say maybe you could argue that something like, what is it? Sorry, I'm tired. It's Inverted Spear of Heaven. Like maybe you could make an argument that Inverted Spear of Heaven could do something against it, but this isn't even a curse technique. This is his cursed energy property. So like I don't think it would work. But yeah, we haven't seen anyone like actually block this. Like this, it appears that this hits Sukuna. This is a garbage translation, by the way. It appears this hits Sukuna, and then he just heals from it immediately after by transforming. You said, "Hey Lilo, this live will continue free to everyone to see." Maybe I'm not sure yet. I think I'm not sure yet. I'll have to see. But yeah, okay, so the point I was trying to make is like there's different interpretations you could get from this scene. Like one interpretation, you can make an argument that even people as fast as like Sukuna can't dodge it, but to be fair, this is a very nerfed Sukuna when this happens. Low output, damaged, all that. Another argument you can make is that this might have actually defeated Maguna. You could argue this would have defeated Maguna. Like, if he didn't have a transformation, this might have actually beaten him. You could argue that. And I think that's, like, the highest you could scale it. Like, basically, anyone with less than 10% Maguna durability might die to this. What I'm trying to say is we've never seen anyone like take this attack and just be okay. The only time we've seen people get hit by it, they're like blown up. And then the only one who's like able to like quote unquote tank it is Sukuna, and he transforms immediately afterwards. Like, we don't know how much this damaged him. It might have done like insane damage to him, and then he just heals it. Okay. So, yeah, Kashimo can beat a lot of people because he just has to hit them like 4 times and then they get one tapped. Like most people. That's the thing that like makes Kashimo so strong. But yeah, and he also has like anti-domain barrier techniques, so like he can survive against domains for a while. But like simple domain, all they do is like buy time. They don't actually like full counter a domain. I think he has Hollow Wicker Basket because he's from like an old era. I think he has Hollow Wicker Basket. I'd have to double check on that. Like they say it during the Hikari fight. You said, does anyone besides Gojo even have a quarter as much durability as Sukuna? Probably not. Yeah, because Sukuna does survive the unlimited Hollow Purple while he was already low power. And I think, here's like another argument you can make. It would kind of explain, it's one explanation to like something people consider somewhat of a plot hole. Let me pull this up. It's in 235. Give me a second. Okay, so this unlimited Hollow Purple is insanely strong. This actually like scales above Sukuna's Domain plus Fuga that he does in Shibuya. It scales above that because you see the Maharaga wheel disintegrate from the attack, but in Shibuya, when Sukuna hits Maharaga with Domain plus Fuga, the wheel like is not disintegrated. I don't think the Lightspeed kick from Deborah disintegrates it either. I think this is the only attack in the story that ever disintegrates the Maharaga wheel. But Sukuna is able to like survive that. Okay. Now, something, and a few things to keep in mind. This is like a weakened Sukuna too. Like he was already damaged before he tanked this. Something a lot of people don't like about this scene though is that like a chapter prior, Sukuna says if he gets hit by Hollow Purple, the attack would be fatal. And then he's just hit by it anyway, and it's not fatal. He's just fine. Like he survives it. So like, people don't like that, even though it's like this attack scales above Domain plus Fuga. So like, I don't know. I mean, if I'll be honest with you. If someone says that this is plot, I will not really argue with them. I'll be like, you can go ahead and say that. But another interpretation that I was like thinking of is maybe you could make an argument that like right after the Maharaga wheel disintegrates, like while Sukuna's being like cooked by this attack, he activates Domain Amplification. And the Domain Amplification is the reason why he like survives it. You could argue that. And he didn't really tank it, right? Like he got fried by it, but he doesn't die, is what I'm saying. So like, that's something I've been thinking is like maybe after the week, like let's say that this attack lasts for like 10 seconds. And let's say the Maharaga wheel is completely disintegrated by like the 7-second mark. You could argue the last 3 seconds of the explosion, Sukuna's like still in the explosion. Like Sukuna's in the center of this, by the way. Like if you look at this scene, somewhere in the middle here, that's where Sukuna is. Just getting fried by this. Somewhere in the middle. All right. And you could argue that maybe after Maharaga's completely gone, he turns on Domain Amplification for like a second. And that's why he's able to survive instead of die like he thought he would. You said, is Lilo actually comparing the blast versus the focused cannonball purple? No, I was comparing it to Fuga actually. But but yeah, I mean like I was just given an explanation to like how he could survive this. But yeah, I mean another argument you could just say that a normal purple is stronger than this. But if that's the case, then you think like normal purple would scale above domain plus Fuga. Which I mean, if you want to say that, you can. I wouldn't stop you. Yeah, if you want to say that, I would not stop you. If you want to say Gojo's like normal purple scales above Sukuna's domain plus Fuga, feel free to say that. I would not even try to stop that. You said, do you think Yuta do you think Yuta in Gojo's body is over Kenjaku? That's a good question. Yuta in Gojo's body. He was kind of fraudulent, like he wasn't used to using it. I mean, that's a tough one. He might be. I don't really know though, because like he was kind of bad at using it. Like he could barely use Gojo's curse techniques. You said not a normal purple is weaker, not gonna lie, because it's easier to pull off. The harder it is to pull off, I bet it gets stronger. Maybe. I mean, like with this whole unlimited hollow purple, if you like pay attention to the chants Gojo's using, these chants are the chants that he uses to regain output. The phased parameter, pillar of light, all of this is to boost output. He does it earlier too. Like, look at, okay, I can show you what I mean. Like, you see these chants, right? Phased parameter, pillar of light, right? And then he does red. This is when he does red. Now let's go back and look. He does the exact same chants earlier in the fight, the exact same ones, and they straight up say like he's doing it to regain output. It's 233. Let me show you. Give me 1 second. It is right here. He does the, like, look, these are the exact same chants. You see it? He says phase, parameter, pillar of light, and then they straight up say, oh, he's trying to recover lost output. He does the exact same thing, and then he fires red. It's the same thing. So you could make an argument that the unlimited hollow purple Gojo does at the end of the fight, the only reason it takes him 41 seconds to do the attack is because his output was low. Like, most of the time just went to him regaining his output. So you could argue that, like, if Gojo did this at the start of the fight, he wouldn't have to do those chants. He could just fire, like, a red and a blue and just do it instantly. He said, a hot take. People give the author too much flack for the Gojo versus Sukuna fight. Gojo's nature has always been lackadaisical. Honestly, the way it played out is good writing. I mean, yeah, there is an argument for that. I mean, I guess you could argue it. I mean, it depends on like what you value in the writing, I guess. Like, because you can make an argument that it's all like in character stuff that happens. Okay, like, here, I'll talk about the hot take I had. Okay, here's the hot take I have. Here, let me go to this. 1 second. Because, yeah, what you said is fair. You could make an argument for that. Let me word it like this, and let me hear your guys' stance on this hot take. Give me 1 second. 1 second. All right, here's my stance on it, right? My hot take is this. The reason why people have problems with the Gojo versus Sukuna the reason why people have problems with the Gojo versus Sukuna fight, it's not because of cope. It's because of the simple fact that most of the people reading the fight, they think to themselves, intuitively, they think, bro, if you gave me Gojo's powers, I'm beating Maguna. What do you think about that? That's my hot take. I think that's actually why the Gojo versus Sukuna debate still goes on, is because most people, they read the fight and they intuitively think to themselves, bro, literally, you give me, like me myself, the reader, you give me Gojo's powers, I would beat Maguna. I would slam him, dude. Like, people intuitively think that. They're like, dude, if you give me all of Gojo's moveset and his skill, there's no way I'm losing to a guy like this. I would fry him. Right? People can intuitively just think that. And that's like what annoys them about the Gojo versus Sukuna fight. If, like I've said it before in old streams, it feels like you're being gaslit when you read this. Like, it feels like the author's trying to gaslight you. It's because, like, you're looking at Gojo's, like, whole toolkit, all these abilities he has, and you're like, bro, on paper, there's actually no way he should lose. You just start, like, intuitively thinking that. What do you think about that? Let me know your thoughts on that. Give me 1 second. All right, let me see what you guys were saying. You said, well, that's just cope. You said, especially when it's shown the malevolent trine doesn't hit red. Dude could just pop purple, no main. I get your take. This is solid. That's interesting. I never thought about it before. Yeah, I'll talk. All right, so for the next little bit, I'll talk about some of the hot takes I have. I'll share my hot takes, right? And these hot takes that I share here, these are probably the ones that are going to make me put the stream to members only, by the way. Just going to be honest with you. Good chance I'll put this to members only afterwards. It depends on, like, how many of my, like, actual JJK hot takes I say. But let's start talking about them, all right? These hot takes might annoy people, but let's talk about them, right? So, here's a hot take. How do I word this one? Look, I won't even be nice about it. I'll just be straight up. I've done this Gojo versus Sukuna debate a lot of times. As you can clearly see, you just go to my channel, look at my live streams. I do it a lot, all right? I've done this a bunch of times. In general, not all the time. In general, people who are defending Sukuna, in general, not all the time. Keep this in mind. In general, they don't really understand JJK power scaling that much. That's a hot take. I'm not saying all of them. There are some people who defend Sukuna that, like, actually understand JJK scaling. But in general, a lot of the time, when and you can test this out yourself. I recommend, even if you think Sukuna's stronger, test it out yourself and see if I'm wrong. See if I'm lying. Okay? Pretend to be a Gojo, like, glazer, and just actually talk to some of these guys. You realize very quickly they barely know what they're talking about, bro. Like, genuinely barely understand the story. Barely understand the skin. Bro, you guys have no idea how many times I've had this exact conversation where, like, I'll just paint the picture for you. Where I'll start a debate, like the Gojo versus Sukuna debate, I'll start it like this. I'll say, like, here's my premise. Gojo scales above Sukuna. I'll just say that. I'll say Gojo scales above Sukuna. And then the person I'm talking to, they'll be like, what? That's cope. I've done this debate hundreds of times. Sukuna dominates Gojo. He scales above him in everything. And I'll be like, okay, scale him right now. And they're like, oh, well, what do you mean? I'm like, no, just scale him right now. Explain to me what scaling you've done for Sukuna. And they have nothing. They literally have nothing. Bro, like, they've never once actually scaled him. They've literally never done it. I ask, just explain to me his scale. How does he scale above Gojo exactly? List the stats he scales above him in. They'll be like, oh, well, Gojo said he's stronger. I'm like, no, that's not what I asked you. Explain to me what stats he scales above Gojo at. Like, where do they scale? Explain that. And they've just never actually done that. That has happened. I've had that exact conversation, no joke. If I had to put a number to it, I'd probably say like 50 times. I'm not joking or exaggerating with that. Well, maybe not, maybe like 30. I think 30 is safe. Like around 30 times, 30 different people have said that exact same thing to me. Just about exact same. Where it's like they just confidently say Sukuna scales above Gojo. I'm certain Sukuna scales above him. I'm like, okay, well, explain to me the scaling you've done. And they've never once scaled him. I've had that conversation like 30 times. All roads lead to Gojo versus Sukuna. Oh yeah, they truly do. So that's one. What else? I mean, like that really is the big one. Here's another thing is this is another hot take. And again, it's not 100% of the time, right? This is just like kind of a in general thing, not always. But in general, like when I'm hearing someone like glaze Sukuna, right? Usually it's no. I'll just say that most of the time when I'm talking to someone about Gojo versus Sukuna, their arguments are pretty bad. It is like literally the same 3 arguments copy and pasted from TikTok over and over again. Over and over again. Their arguments are not improving. Like in general, the like people who defend Sukuna, they're not getting better at doing it. They're staying exactly the same, copying and pasting the exact same 3 arguments over and over again. And the reason they're doing that is because they have not, my theory, it's because they haven't actually scaled the series themselves. They're just copying and pasting stuff from TikTok and other YouTubers. That's it. That's most of the time. Not all. There are some exceptions. But in general, like out of all the Gojo versus Sukuna debates I've done, especially the ones like over text, it's always just copying and pasting arguments from TikTok. Like, it's gotten to the point where if I'm talking to someone about the fight, I can pretty much predict what they're going to say before they say it. Like most Gojo versus Sukuna debates, it starts out, the Sukuna guy, he copies that like really popular collage from TikTok where it's like 5 panels of Gojo saying Sukuna was holding back and Sukuna's stronger than him. They paste that. You say any counter to that at all, they say you're coping. And then the only other argument they have is they'll say Sukuna would have done better if he just used domain amplification. And then that's it. That's the whole debate. And it's just a repeat of that like 100 times. None of those are like really good points, by the way. But like I have noticed that specifically with like the Sukuna fans. You got like in general, a lot of you guys are not actually like scaling the series and you're just repeating stuff you heard from other people rather than like actually analyzing the manga and thinking of arguments for yourselves. That's a hot take. Okay. Cozy, thank you for the donation. You said, how can this fight be as good as Corolla versus Hisoka? I actually think that it's like more hype, but I do think Corolla versus Hisoka is way better written. Gigas, thank you for the donation. You said, can we talk about how big of a handicap having to play around Maharaga's adaptation was for Gojo? He couldn't take full advantage of his godlike CE efficiency and overwhelm Sukuna with sheer volume. I mean, that only would affect a small portion of the fight, like the second round of the fight. Gojo is like trying to fight Sukuna in a way where like Maharaga doesn't fully adapt. So like in the second half of the fight that does nerf him. But like during the domain clashes he didn't know that that Maharaga was like adapting. You said, why do you think Sukuna fans specifically do this? Okay, so here's another hot take. I think it's just in general, like, you know that meme where they say like JJK fans don't read. I think what that really comes from, it's kind of similar to something that's going on with One Piece. when a story gets this popular, you have a lot of people talking about it that don't really know what they're talking about. It's kind of like, I've said it with One Piece, like One Piece is kind of like Star Wars. You got a bunch of people just saying stuff that like Star Wars because they've seen it, but they don't really know it deeply. JJK is the exact same way, right? So, I mean, I've had this conversation with like people in my family too. Like, people in my family have never watched JJK, never scaled it, never read. I have people in my family who haven't even read the Gojo versus Sukuna fight. And I was talking to one of them, and I was like, who do you think is stronger between Gojo and Sukuna? He's like, well, isn't it obvious? It's obviously Sukuna. He won. And I'm like, dude, have you even read the fight? He's like, oh, no, but he won, so he's stronger, right? And, like, that's like a common take. Okay? And I think, like, a lot of people, I genuinely think this, right? Like, if you do the Gojo versus Sukuna debate a lot of the time, you're talking to people who haven't actually read JJK. They've, like, just read, like, the Gojo versus Sukuna fight. Some of them haven't even done that. They just watched TikTok edits of it. A lot of the people you're talking to, they genuinely do not know what they're talking about. So I think that's, like, a big part of it. That's my actual stance. I think that is a big part of it. And then another thing is, like, something else to keep in mind is, like, most people do not actually power scale things. Like, most people you talk to, if you ask them, let me word it like this. If I ask somebody, explain to me how strong Yuta is. Explain to me how strong he is. Don't use any character statements at all. Explain to me how strong Yuta is. Most people don't have an answer to that. Right? Like, most people don't understand that you can, like, look at other characters, you can look at the feats that they've done, and you can, like, scale relativity based off of, like, who can do what, who can dodge what, who can block what, who can do. A lot of people don't have any power scaling method at all. They just kind of say things and then say you're coping or and LARPing if you disagree. Most viewers of manga and shonen do that. Okay, so when you're talking about Gojo versus Sukuna in a story as popular as JJK, most of the people you're talking to do not know how to power scale. I'm not saying they don't know how to power scale well. I'm saying they don't know how to power scale at all. A lot of the people who will have, you can test this out yourself, and then you tell me if this is actually a hot take. The next time you talk to somebody who has Sukuna as the strongest in JJK, ask them to explain to you, like, how strong a random character is. Ask them to do it. And they probably won't be able to. That's one thing. You can also ask them, what's your top 10 in a popular series? What's your top 10 in Naruto? And just, like, look at how they list the characters. It'll probably be all jacked up. They'll just have random people in there, like Kasame and, like, just random people in there. Or ask them for their top 10 in One Piece, or their top 10 in, like, some other kind of Yu Yu Hakusho, anything. You'll start to realize a lot of people who are putting, like, Sukuna at top 1. Again, hot take, by the way. Let me know if it's a hot take or not. A lot of them don't know how to scale. They're just saying things, bro. Okay? That's kind of how that goes. No offense to anybody, but that is something you'll realize if you just, like, actually power scale and talk to people enough. You'll realize a lot of people just have really casual, wild takes. That's why, like, in One Piece, there's takes where that's why people in One Piece think, like, Katakuri is still, like, stronger than Luffy even now. There's people who think Katakuri's, like, Admiral level and stuff. Like, most people don't actually scale things, man. Aura scaling. True, yeah. A lot of people just aura scale, bro. Okay, I have one more hot take, and this one is probably gonna make me put the video to members only. You said the fight felt like Gege specifically writing it to break the reader's hearts. LOL. Of course, Gojo had to lose plot-wise, but the way he lost felt rigged. I agree. It does feel that way. Well, here's another thing to think about. If Gojo was the main character, would he have won? You guys in the chat, be honest with me here. If Gojo was the main character, would he have won? Let me know what you guys think about that. For all the people who think Sukuna's stronger, just answer that real quick. If Gojo was the main character of JJK, Yuji isn't the main character, it's Gojo. Would he have won that fight? Just let me know what you think. All right. Now, here's another hot... here's another hot take I have. And this one, I'm not gonna lie, will probably make me put the stream on members only. So here's I'll just say it, all right? I'll say it as like nicely as I can. So again, this isn't to everybody. It's like a general thing. But in many cases, when someone is like glazing Sukuna, they're either LARPing JJK, like they don't really understand the story that well, or well, no, let me word it like this. It's like a 50-50, right? Like if someone has Sukuna at top 1, that's fine. You can have that. But in many cases, what I notice, it's either someone just really likes Sukuna, like they just think he's really cool, want him to be top 1, which is fine. Or they're LARPing. Like they actually, if you ask them to explain JJK in total, as a whole, they're going to give you takes that are just actually terrible. Because I've seen it happen a bunch of times. I've seen people say they thought Kashimo, well, I'm not going to say too much because then you'll probably know who I'm talking about. But I've seen people like completely misunderstand like basic curse techniques. Like I've heard someone like talking, saying that like Sukuna's way stronger than Gojo. Gojo's weak. He's a fraud. He's nothing compared to Sukuna. And then that same guy like went on to like not understand how half the curse techniques work in the story. They didn't know the name of Malevolent Shrine. They didn't know the name of Fuga. They didn't know like Kashimo's curse technique. They didn't know the name of like Hakari's abilities. They didn't know a lot of things about JJK, but they're sitting here confidently saying, oh, well, Sukuna's way stronger, and if you disagree, you're coping. It's like I see stuff like that a lot, where people just like really don't have a deep knowledge of JJK, but it's almost always those people are saying Sukuna's stronger. I've seen that happen so many times. Well, let me take that back. I haven't seen that happen so many. I've seen it happen a few times, and a few times felt like a lot. So. And you said, but Lilo, it's the same for Gojo fans. It can be, but I'm going to be honest with you. Gojo fans in general do have better scaling of JJK. Not always, but in general they do. Because like to defend Gojo, the reason why people do it, this is a hot take for sure. But let me explain this real quick. I've never said this in a stream, right? In general, the reason why people defend Gojo is because they understand the scaling well enough to be offended by it. They understand the scaling well enough to intuitively read this and say, hey, this isn't right. This doesn't make sense. I don't think I've ever said that in a stream before. But that is just like part of it. A lot of people, a lot of the time, and again, everything I'm saying, it's not all Sukuna. There are Sukuna fans who like actually can scale this manga and like understand it. I'm speaking like generally, right? But there's many cases where like the reason why Sukuna fans genuinely think Gojo fans are delusional, honest truth, this might like sound a little harsh. It's because they seriously do not understand the scaling well enough to be offended. They just genuinely don't get it. Okay, because like I'll prove that. I'll take the next like 20 minutes and I'll prove what I'm saying there. Because that might sound like a harsh take. That might sound like I'm being rude. But I'm really like trying to be honest with you guys here. In many cases, the reason why Sukuna fans think that like people saying Gojo are stronger, the reason why they'll say like, oh, you're delusional or you're coping, it's because they literally do not understand Jujutsu Kaisen power scaling well enough to like even to be aware that that's like a real possibility. They don't understand the scaling well enough. So let me explain it to you, right? Like when I say Unlimited Hollow Purple scales above Domain plus Fuga, a lot of people don't know a lot of like Sukuna fans, they don't know what I'm talking about. They don't realize that this actually is a better feat than what Sukuna did in Shibuya. They don't realize that like intuitively, like how Gojo's able to delete the wheel and against a debatably stronger Maharaga, but Sukuna wasn't able to. Like here, I'll go go back and pull that up for you. I think that's chapter 118. I'm gonna spend like the next 20 minutes giving you examples of like arguments that like a lot of the people who defend Sukuna are just actually not aware of. Okay, so let me show you. Let's go look at this. There's this one, and then I'll show you another one right after this. Like, look, Sukuna hits Mahoraga with his domain plus Fuga. He hits him with it right here. And this is stated to be his ultimate attack, by the way. But the wheel is still intact. The wheel is still intact. He didn't disintegrate the wheel, but Gojo did. Okay? So, like, a lot of people who are defending Sukuna, they don't realize, like, that means it implies that Unlimited Hollow Purple scales above this technique. Another thing is the fact that like Gojo can spam this. Like they don't actually scale the series enough to realize like all the implications of this. Like Gojo with like Unlimited Hollow Purple is something that it doesn't take a lot of energy for Gojo. He did it while he was like fried. And it's just his curse technique. It's not his domain. Sukuna has to use his domain and then Fuga, and then put a binding vow on top of all of it to be weaker than something that Gojo can do with just his like base curse technique. And something else is that Gojo can spam that attack. Like, let me show you what I mean. So, you see how this attack has a blast radius? Like, you see how high up the attack goes? It goes up to like this height, right? If Gojo just like, if you can see where my mouse is, if Gojo's just flying here and he's dropping down reds and purple, he can just spam this like until he runs out of cursed energy, which is maybe never, and be like dozens to hundreds of times beyond what Sukuna can do with his domain plus Fuga. A lot of people who like are defending Sukuna, they don't scale JJK enough to put that together. Like that, what I just said has never occurred to them. There's a few other arguments, right? We'll talk about it. These are things that are like backing up what I was saying earlier. That like a lot of people who say Gojo fans are delusional, they just like haven't actually scaled the series enough to understand the arguments. So they just the arguments have never occurred to them. There's that, and then there is this one right here. I'll talk to you about this real quick. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second here. Okay, a lot of people, they don't realize that like Gojo's nerfed while he's beating up Sukuna in the domain clashes. A lot of people don't realize that, right? Especially a lot of people who defend Sukuna don't realize it. It's because it's this argument here. Damage nerfs output, and we know that Gojo has like gotten brain damage from using reverse curse technique to replenish his curse technique. Like, look at this. So this is Gojo in the this is Gojo in the third clash. So how many times has he used reverse curse technique to replenish his curse technique? He used it once to do the second domain, and then he did it twice. So he's only done it twice at this point. When he breaks Sukuna's domain in 3 minutes. Real chance this Gojo already has brain damage. Like, that's why his nose is bleeding. Okay, so like Gojo has brain damage from using reverse curse technique to replenish his curse technique. Even though he's only done it twice, he's already been damaged by it. So that means Gojo's output would be lower, but he's still able to beat Sukuna up in 3 minutes. So it's like a lowered output Gojo still able to like beat up Sukuna in 3 minutes. That's something a lot of people like don't really think about or factor in. And then he uses it again. Uses it for a third time. And is still able to beat him up in 3 minutes. So it's like, this is like a low output Gojo beating up a Sukuna who would be like closer to his normal. You can do it in 3 minutes. Okay. What else is there? Yeah, there's arguments like that, and then there's other arguments like if Gojo starts the fight with basketball domain, he wins in 3 clashes. There's all kinds of things like that. The other argument of like there's just so many. There's genuinely so many. But it's like a lot of these things, when you're talking to people who are defending Sukuna, they've actually never thought of them. So when you bring them up, they think you're being delusional. But it's like, no, you just actually haven't scaled the series that much. That's why you haven't thought of these things. Okay. What else was there? And again, that's not everyone who's a Sukuna fan, but I am saying that does happen a lot. If you just like, and if you don't believe me, then test it out yourself. Like, even if you're a Sukuna fan, try it. Like, just pretend to be a Sukuna fan and ask them these questions and see if like the people that are defending Sukuna know what you're talking about. In many cases, they won't. What else was there that I wanted to say? There was some other things. I'm trying to think if there's any other hot takes I had. I think that's most of them. I think that is most of them. I'm just thinking, was there anything else that I'm like forgetting? Oh yeah, and then there's this whole argument that like Gojo, I made a whole video talking about this, like about how Gojo was like trying to beat him in a way where like he wouldn't rip Sukuna's head off or anything like that. I've already made a whole video on that. So you said you should do streams like these more often. No, that's why I put the thumbnail on it just this once, man, just this once. Oh, well, like, there, yeah, it's just in general. I'm saying this because I've done this debate a bunch of times and I've seen this happen a lot. It's like a lot of times I'm talking to these Sukuna fans and I'm like, you guys literally don't know what you're talking about, bro. I've thought that so many times that, like, I wanted to talk about it on stream. Also, like, another thing, like, the reason why I feel good about, like, the takes I have with the Gojo, let me word it like this, right? When it comes to Gojo versus Sukuna, I feel very good about the takes I have for Gojo because I've tested them out so many times, right? Most people, I don't want to talk about most other people with this example, but I'm confident. And pretty much, okay, let me word it like this. I would do a Gojo versus Sukuna debate with anyone and feel comfortable. As long as they're being like friendly and respectful, anybody, I would feel comfortable talking to them about it. As long as they're being like friendly and respectful, I would just do that. Anyone. Because I've done the debate many, many times. And something else that's like boosted my confidence is I've seen this happen a few times now. Where I was speaking to people where when they first spoke to me, they're like, bro, you are a Gojo glazer. I completely disagree with you. Sukuna would just low diff Gojo. He's way stronger than Gojo. And then like after talking to me for a while, they just like, they'll come back and just admit to me, they're like, hey man, I just want to be honest. My opinion's completely changed. I think Gojo's stronger. That's happened like around 3 times now, like 3 or 4 times. And I never thought that was actually going to happen. But that has happened a few times now where like people who their first interaction with me, they were like calling me a Gojo glazer, saying I don't know what I'm talking about. Then they talk to me for a while and then they come back like a couple weeks later and they're like, hey man, I just want to tell you, like, I do think Gojo's stronger now, by the way. I've seen that happen a few times now. And that like has really made me realize like, no, I'm making good points. When it comes to this Gojo versus Sukuna stuff, I'm making good points. Like let me not say good points. I'm making logical points. Okay? Because, I mean, I'm doing open debates, right? Like, here's something to really think about, chat. Like, really think about what I'm about to say here. If you ever see anyone, like, disagreeing with, like, Gojo versus Sukuna takes I have, or, like, if you ever see someone say, like, oh, man, Lilo's coping, or, oh, man, Lilo's delusional, really think about this. If they really believed that, don't you think they would show up to one of these live streams and just prove me wrong? Really think about what I'm saying there. anyone who says Lilo is like coping or Lilo is delusional, if they really believed that, don't you think they would just show up to one of these countless live streams I do and just debunk what I'm saying? I look at how many I've done, bro. Like, hold on. I like, let's look at this. Like, how many of these Gojo versus Sukuna debates have I done, bro? All right, here's one here, two here, and I think some of them I deleted. Let me count. How many have I done? I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let me see. So in the past 4 months, I've done 6 of them. 7. This was a small one. I want to see if I did any more. I'm just looking. Let me see how many. Did I do any more? I'm just talking live streams real quick. Okay, so yeah, it's looking like I think I did more like when the fight first came out too. I'm just scrolling to see. It's nice looking at all these old streams. I do more back here. Oh yeah, I did one with no operator, and then I did another one here. So how many is that? That's like 8 or 9 streams in the past year. I've done. Oh, and then I did one right here too. So that's like 10. In the past year, I've done 10 Gojo versus Sukuna streams. I've done 10 of them, bro. In the past year, I've done 10. Okay? And those are open debate streams where anyone can join, anyone can say I'm wrong, anyone can like debunk what I'm saying. But after all of these, my opinions are just like, I just believe what I'm saying more. And so my stance, and then also the other thing is like anytime I do any other JJK debate, a lot of the times the last hour of it just turns into Gojo versus Sukuna anyway. A lot of my other streams just have Gojo versus Sukuna in it. So if there's really anyone out there who genuinely thinks Lilo is coping, Lilo is wrong, Lilo's just a Gojo Glazer, don't you freaking think they'd prove me wrong by now? Like, what I mean by that is, don't you think they would like be in one of these streams, debate me on in one of these streams, and then just make me look like really bad, like make me look wrong? Why is it that's not happened? I mean, really think about that. Because I've seen people say it before that they think like Gojo fans are coping, Gojo fans are delusional, but then that same person, like if you ask them to list any of the Gojo arguments, they can't do it. I really think like if I see people say like Lilo's coping or Lilo's glazing or Lilo's delusional, I'm gonna be honest, I don't believe you. I don't think you even believe that. Because if you did, you would join these debate streams and just prove me wrong. That's what I think. That's honestly what I think. I mean, I do not think I'm making wild takes when it comes to Gojo versus Sukuna. I really don't. I think I'm making very logical, fair takes. Because if I wasn't, then by now, someone in the chat, or maybe some of these other YouTubers that like think Sukuna's stronger, one of them would have showed up to this stream by now and proven me wrong. But it just doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen. So I really think, in general, people who are saying Lilo's coping, Lilo's delusional, Lilo's just a Gojo Glazer, the people saying that, I don't believe you. I do not think you even believe that, because I do open debate streams on Gojo versus Sukuna all the time, and you never show up to like prove me wrong. You easily could you easily could. Okay, so. Those are my hot takes. Those are my hot takes, man. Ashura's, dude, if you look at these debate streams, Ashura's in almost every single one of these. If you look, like, if I click on these at random, Ashura's probably in every one of these, bro. Like, Ashura's in every debate stream we do. Ashura's cool. Okay, so those are my hot takes, man. Those are my hot takes. Because I've seen people say it before. I've seen people say, like, oh, Gojo fans are delusional. And then if you ask that same person, hey, man, list the Gojo arguments, they can't do it. They don't know them. You read the fight once or twice, bro. If you really think, like, what I'm saying is wrong, I do open Gojo vs. Sukuna debate streams all the time. You can just join, be respectful, and then prove me wrong. But, I've done, like, so many of these. And that's not even counting, like, the countless text debate. I've done this discussion so many times. I really think I'm just being logical and fair with Gojo vs. Sukuna. Okay. So yeah, those are my takes on that. Is there anything else I wanted to say? No, I think that's about it. But yeah, is there any takes in the chat that I'm missing that you guys wanted me to talk about? You said, Lilo, so what do you think of Gojo admitting Sukuna is stronger? The narrative and story clearly says Sukuna above Gojo. Just want to hear your thoughts. Yeah, okay, so here's my stance on it, right? There's two different ways to... let me just start yapping and I'll explain it, right? The stance that I take in the Gojo versus Sukuna debate, I say that Gojo is a stronger character than Sukuna. He just objectively scales above him. Because if you measure all of his stats, the same way that you scale pretty much any other character in fiction, the answer is Gojo's stronger. He has more defense, he has more speed, he has more destructive capacity, his hacks scale higher, he's just a stronger character, right? And then I would go ahead and say that even if you want to say Sukuna's stronger than Gojo, I think a better argument would be Maguna with prep time, with World Cutting Slash, and the ability to transform into Heian era Sukuna, who also has World Cutting Slash, and his cursed tools, against Gojo, who doesn't have who has like a knowledge disparity. Like Sukuna knows the weakness to Gojo's domain, Gojo doesn't know the weakness to Sukuna's. In that scenario, yes, you could say Sukuna's stronger. In that specific scenario, you can say that, which is the scenario we see in the manga. But as overall characters, Gojo is a stronger character than Sukuna. That is my take, right? So like what Gojo's saying is fine, but like Gojo just doesn't really care about the context. He doesn't care that Sukuna has like prep time. He doesn't care that Sukuna can transform into another form and like full heal. He doesn't care that Sukuna knows the weakness to his domain, but Gojo didn't know the weakness to Sukuna's. He doesn't care about any of that. Okay, you want proof of like the fact that Gojo doesn't care about any of that? I can prove it to you like instantly. Here, give me 1 second. Because like in Gojo's mind, whoever wins is stronger. He doesn't care like who scales above who. In his mind, whoever wins is stronger. But like let me show you this real quick. Give me 1 second. I clicked the wrong chapter. Like this scene right here. If you really think about it, if Gojo wanted to, he could just pop his domain here and Sukuna would die. Like right after, if Gojo's real focus was like, I'm just going to win no matter what, I don't care about anything, then he would have just opened the domain right here and just won immediately. You guys realize that? Like, if Gojo wanted to, right after hitting Sukuna with the purple, Sukuna got both of his hands blown off. That's why there's smoke appearing off this hand, because he's like healing it back. If Gojo really wanted to just win no matter what, didn't care about anything, right after hitting Sukuna with this purple, he would have teleported right in front of him, opened the domain, and just win immediately. But he didn't do that, right? So like, Gojo's perspective on things is like kind of weird. Because he's just been the strongest for so long. He has a weird perspective. But, yeah, like, Gojo can say all of those things, and it's still fine. Like, what I'm saying isn't changing. It's not, like, affected by Gojo's statement in really any way. I'm saying, as a character, Gojo objectively scales above Sukuna, which he just does. Um, yeah. He said by that smoke logic, Kashimo has RCT. Well, the other thing is Sukuna says he got both of his hands blown off. Sukuna, like, I think he straight up says he got both hands blown off by this attack. Let me see. But yeah, my argument is that Gojo scales above Sukuna just because he does. Like, there's a reason why. Like, you guys know how they have this, how, like, Gojo's, like, the cross-verse battle guy for JJK. Like, they're always picking Gojo, making him fight all these super strong people. Have Gojo fighting Thrag, have Gojo fight, like, Saitama and all this stuff. They're not doing that with Sukuna because of what I'm saying. You said Gojo and Sukuna both have the same mindset when they lost. Neither cared about the concept or amount of asterisk attached to their losses. That's true, yeah. They just kind of accept it. They just kind of accept it immediately. Like, there's another thing that, like, backs up that concept, too. Like, in the fight. Let me see. Where was it? I think it's 233. Hold on. It is right here. Okay, this is also John Weary. Yeah, I might not be able to, like, talk about it much from this. But, like, Gojo's perspective on, like, who's stronger than who is, like, very weird because he's been the strongest for so long. Like, he doesn't care about, like, if you're, like, cheating or doing any sneaky tactics. If you can beat him, he just gives you props immediately. This is, like, shown here too, right? Like, there's this scene where Gojo knocks Sukuna out, and then Sukuna summons Maharaga while KO'd somehow. No, that's not the important part. But there's this scene here where Gojo's like, wow, for the first time in a long time, he's aware of the fact that he could lose, right? And then he thinks, when was the last time he ever felt this way? And he thinks to Toji. And then the narrator says, along with signs of defeat came undeniable satisfaction. So, like, this implies that even against Toji, there was some feeling of satisfaction. Even against Toji, who was sneaking and cheating, like, objectively. Like, Toji was objectively sneak and cheating, right? But this implies that, like, him being on the verge of losing to Toji made Gojo, like, have some feeling of satisfaction too, because he's been the strongest for so long. That's more of a debatable thing, because you could argue that he wasn't exactly the strongest when he lost to Toji the first time, but that's like a debatable thing. You could argue that, like, this implies Gojo really just doesn't care, like, what kind of sneak tricks you do. If you can, like, push him in a corner, he's just, like, happy. He's kind of a weirdo. Like, you could just argue that. But there was something else I wanted to say about this. I don't even know. Was there something else I forgot? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Anno, you said hot take. A lot of people get genuinely frustrated in Gojo crossverse debates that they can't just say Goku, Ichigo, whatever big stats man simply powers up and punch through infinity, so they lie. That's funny. Yeah, Gojo has, like, really broken hacks. They're, like, insanely strong. Lilo, you got a beard? I do have a beard, yes. You said, Lilo, if Gojo and Sukuna both swapped powers, who would win more? Both have full potential of their power, and I'd give Gojo open barrier in Sukuna. Wait, so if Gojo has dismantle and cleave, oh, then Sukuna would win. I mean, bro, it's just, like, straight up stated that, like, Limitless is way stronger than Shrine. He has a way stronger curse technique. Like, it's way stronger. And, like, Dude, there's so many things in this fight where when you read it, if you really think about it, you're like, why isn't Gojo just doing this? Why isn't he just doing that? Like, hold on, let me give you another example. It's right. Let me think. I think it's 229. Let's see here. I was talking about this the other day in my chat. This move right here, this blue pull, you guys realize Sukuna actually has no counter to this at all? Like, we never see him ever counter this at all. Ever. Bro, like, really look at this scene. Like, Gojo can just, at will, whenever he wants, just, like, throw... Like, he does it right here, right? Like, he's punching Sukuna a bunch of times. Then he, like, blitzes to the side. And then just yanks him. Like, uses blue to, like, just pull and throw Sukuna. And just throws him, like, into these, like, skeletons. And then just pulls him towards him again. Throughout the entire fight, this move here, this, like, force pull with blue, we never once see Sukuna actually counter this. Right? So this is the kind of stuff I'm talking about when I say, like, most people, they read this fight and they think to themselves, like, if I had Gojo's powers, I'm beating Sukuna. Bro, he has no counter to this, right? Just yank him to one side, form a red, and then throw him into it. Just keep, you can just do that over and over and just keep throwing him into reds. Or, like, throw him into a purple, bro. Like, Gojo should really have no problem with charging purple if he can do this. If at any point he can just pick him up and throw him. Like, there's like actually no reason why he should have any issue with forming purple at all. You said One Piece taught me a lot about unreliable narrators. You have to consider who's delivering a statement, their motivation, and their current mindset. Okay, yeah, let's talk about statements real quick. Here's something else. I was kind of like alluding to this at the start of the stream, where I say, like, a lot of people in JJK, they'll just contradict themselves. Like, even myself, I try not to do it, but I'm sure if you, like, listen to all of my streams, there's some points I've made that have contradicted others. That's probably true as well. But here's something. Right? Take a look at this. Okay? So, like, a lot of people, they'll say, like, oh, well, Gojo said Sukuna's stronger, so that means Sukuna's stronger, and if you disagree with it, you're coping. All right, well, let's hold up that logic to this statement for a second. Remember what I just said. I said a lot of people, right? And if you debate Gojo versus Sukuna, you've seen this yourself. I'm sure of it. You've seen people say, look, Gojo says Sukuna's stronger. If you disagree with it, you're coping. In fact, there's a very popular TikTok collage that has like 5 or 6 pictures of Gojo saying Sukuna's stronger. People will just copy and paste that and then just say cope. You'll see that all the time, right? They're like, look, he says it, so that means he's right. If Gojo's saying Sukuna's stronger, Sukuna's stronger. All right, well, how about this? Gojo says if he goes out the way he is right now, everyone will grow up and surpass him someday. What about this? You guys believe this? If you disagree with this, are you coping here? It's the same character. If you disagree with this, are you coping? If you say there's no way that Maki surpasses Gojo, is that cope? If you say there's no way that Maki surpasses Gojo, is that cope? If you say there's no way that Hikari can surpass Gojo, is that cope? If you say there's no way Todo could surpass Gojo, well, maybe Todo because he's kind of cool, but if I say there's no way Miwa could surpass Gojo, is that cope? If I say there's no way Ino could surpass Gojo, is that all cope? Or maybe are people just kind of picking and choosing like what statements they like? What do you guys think about that? Is it cope to say that this statement's wrong? Okay, anyone who like defends Sukuna, right? Like type some messages in the chat right now. What do you think about this statement? Is it cope to say this one's wrong? I personally, I don't think Miwa's ever gonna surpass Gojo. I don't know about you, but what do you guys think? It's cope. You said it's cope to say that Miwa cannot surpass Gojo. You know what, man? Maybe you're right, bro. That's big Eno. You know what? Maybe I'm wrong, guys. My fault. Cope Miwa became top 1 off screen. You know what? You know what? You guys got me. Maybe I was coping. I am yeah, you know what? Maybe you guys got a good point. Eno low div Shinjuku Gojo. You know what? Yeah, you know what, guys? I don't know why I didn't think of that. Yeah, I'm seeing reality now. You're right. You guys got good points here. Yeah, I guess I was just you know what? Maybe I am coping. Maybe Eno really is top 1. I guess when Gojo said, "Nah, I'd win," he did win. We just weren't paying attention. True. You know what? You know what, man? Maybe every statement in JJK is just right, bro. Every character statement's completely right. That also would mean we got Yuta above 16 finger Uchikuna. Yuta, like, before the culling game starts, by the way, like, he doesn't have thin icebreaker, doesn't have Jacob's ladder, doesn't have like Drew's technique. You got Yuta, curse speech. That's all he needs. He's gonna beat 16 finger Uchikuna. We got Hikari above Yuta as well. We got Miwa above Gojo. You know what? All the character statements are completely right. I'm wrong. My fault. But yeah, this is like a point that like I like to bring up. It's just oh, here's the other one. How about this one? Hold on, give me a second, chat. Here's one everybody really loves. You should already know. Here's one. Here's another character statement we gotta trust, because I mean it does come from Gojo after all, and everything Gojo says is pretty much the narrator saying it, right? Here's one we gotta just accept. Okay? These Sukuna fingers, they're a really powerful curse, and with each passing day they get even stronger. We gotta just accept this one, chap. We gotta just accept this one. Every day these fingers are getting stronger. Sukuna is 1,000 years stronger. We just gotta accept it. No worries, okay? We gotta just accept every character statement at face value. No nuance allowed. No analysis. All the nuance stuff is just cope, remember? Like, if you want to say, like, oh, when Gojo's saying that Sukuna's stronger, he's referring to, like, Fuga, because he can see the curse technique, and that's what Kusakabe was talking about, and that's what the narrator... and all that's cope, okay? It's all just... You got to directly accept the text for what it says. Alright? Maybe you guys are right, bro. We got to just accept the text, no nuance allowed. No, it's just, you take it at its most literal face value translation. Each passing day, these fingers are getting stronger. We just gotta accept that, chat. Otherwise, it's cope, remember? But, yeah. I mean, basically, guys, like, where the hot take comes from is just, people will contradict themselves a lot, especially when it comes to, like, Gojo versus Sukuna. It's like, character statements only work for the character. They only use character statements for situations that they, like, enjoy. You know? He said, cold take. The writing fell off after Shibuya and culling games. There is an argument for that. I think it's still really cool, though. It's still really hype. But I will be honest. There was a lot of stuff in Shinjuku I really didn't like. But like now that like about 2 years have gone by, I've like grown to enjoy them again. But when I first read Shinjuku, I did not like that arc, bro. I'll just be honest. But like over time, I've grown to like actually like it. I think it's cool, like, seeing Sukuna run the gauntlet. He's kind of like Darth Vader. just like fighting tons of people. I think that's kind of cool. But okay, is this a hot take? Sukuna did not only do 3 binding vows. He did like 10. Is that a hot take to say Sukuna did like 10 binding vows? I think Sukuna literally did like maybe 8 or 9. So there's an argument that like Sukuna's domain expansion is a binding vow too. Like his okay, here's something else I was thinking the other day, right? Like someone in my chat was telling me this. Someone in my chat was saying like if you look at the Gojo versus Sukuna fight, everything Gojo was doing was like just with his raw base stats. And Sukuna like was constantly using binding vows to like keep up with like base Gojo. Which is like an interesting interpretation that I hadn't really thought of before. And it made me start thinking like how strong would like a binding vow Gojo be? Like if he actually used binding vows a lot. There's so many like interesting ones I think Gojo could use that would make him really strong. Like we were talking about it in my chat the other day. Like if you look at World Cutting Slash, it's just this mantle with the target changed. They say it like Kusakabe says it too. Where's Kusakabe at when he says that? Is it like around here? Oh yeah, I almost got it. I think it's the chapter before this. What is it called? I'm trying to remember the scene. It's like a scene where Kusakabe says that binding he says that World Cutting Slash is just a dismantle with a target changed. I think it's here. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's right here. It's right here. Okay, so he says usually some kind of binding vow or charge is necessary for broadening a curse technique's target area, right? So you could make an argument that like in theory anyone with a projectile based curse technique might be able to like do a World Cutting Slash but with their own technique. You said, what is unknown factors and impromptu binding vows? You got a good point, bro. It is a good question. But I have seen people say that like Sukuna hasn't done that many binding vows, but I think he literally did like 8 in Shinjuku. But yeah, like talking about things that are theoretically possible. You could make an argument that like anyone with a projectile based curse technique could like make a World Cutting Slash version of their own technique. So like Gojo might be able to make like a World Cutting purple or like a World Cutting blue if he just changes the target. Gojo might be able to do it even easier than like other people because we see him do things like that anyway. Like technically when he's using blue to fly, he's like using the curse technique, the target is himself, right? Or maybe you could say the target would be like the air around him, but then he can like change the target of blue to like spawn on other people anyway. I'm trying to remember the exact chapter where he does it, but he does like low-key kind of do like a World Cutting blue, like kind of. Gigas, dude, thank you for all these donations, man. I really do appreciate it, bro. You said open barrier, unlimited void binding vow. It loses efficacy the farther from the center you are. Plus, it's impossible to escape, which boosts the efficacy near the center. Yeah, dude, there's like so much stuff like that Gojo could do. That's a really good point. But like Gojo here never does this against Sukuna, by the way, for whatever reason. But he's able to just spawn blues on people. Like without moving, he can just stand there and then blues appear on his opponent. So you could argue like this is Gojo like making the target of blue like where just this person's hands and legs, right? He just like changed the target of blue to their hands and legs. So in theory, like we're already seeing Gojo change the target of his curse technique. Like he can apply it to himself and make himself fly, or he can change the target to other people and like instantly spawn blues on them. So you could like argue that like maybe with a binding vow, Gojo could have like a world cutting blue or like a world cutting purple, kind of. Like just change the target to the space that the person's in. There's all kinds of like interesting things like that. Or like a binding vow to instantly fire purple with no hand signs, no charge up. It just instantly fires purple. You could do a binding vow for that. Hot take, Medulo Dabura beats every Naruto character weaker than Edo Madara. That's crazy. Weaker. I mean, I don't know Naruto scaling well enough to really like speak about it. You said maybe this guy's just too slow and couldn't react to Gojo using blue. Like maybe Gojo just spawned blues in front of them and just like moved them forward. I mean, maybe that's possible. But in the anime, it does look instant. Like this scene in the anime, the guy's just standing there and his limbs just like explode. You said I thought it was going to be another debate stream. Oh, sorry, no. This one I'm just like yapping. This one is just more of a yap stream. But like anyone who's in the Discord, I might hop in the Discord in a bit and like just talk there like off stream. But yeah, chat, that's a lot of hot takes today. I probably will put this one to members only. Probably will. But yeah, that's everything for this stream. That's everything I wanted to say. The next video I post I'm working on will be Hunter x Hunter, but I gotta finish like my schoolwork this week. I actually might do a Street Fighter stream, bro, for old time's sake. I haven't done a Street Fighter stream in a long time, but that is my favorite game. I might stream some of that just for fun, just to chill. Because I just had a ton of exams yesterday. I got more work to do, but I'm gonna be chilling for like most of this morning. Like, bro, I had exams from like 7 a.m. until 9 p.m. yesterday. Final exams, bro. It's just a lot of work. So I'm gonna be chilling for like the next few hours playing Street Fighter anyway. I might stream it. Dude, Gigas, thank you for these donations, bro. I really do appreciate it. I really do appreciate it, Gigas. Gigas, if there's any like stream topic you want me to talk about like in the next stream, let me know and I can like do like maybe a good like 20 or 30 minutes just talking about like any topic that you would want me to talk about, as long as it's like a series that I know, like JJK or Hunter x Hunter or One Piece. If there's anything you would want me to like talk about in the next stream, like you can let me know, because you have donated a lot. So yeah, I'll do like 20 or 30 minutes, like any subject you want me to talk about, I can talk about that. Like the series I know, it would be JJK, Hunter x Hunter, One Piece, Yu Yu Hakusho, Full Metal Alchemist, and Kagurabachi. Any of those, oh, Toriko, I also know Toriko. Any of these subjects you will want me to, and Baki as well. If there's any subject in any of those, I could talk about that for like 20, 30 minutes on the next stream. But you said, imagine Gojo makes condensed purples that constantly orbit him, or even infuses infinity with purple. Yeah, he has so many cool things he could do. You said you're in the Discord, so you'll think of something. Okay, sounds good. Yeah, just let me know, and I'll talk about it in the next stream for like 20 or 30 minutes, because you did do a lot of donations, so I appreciate it. But yeah, that's everything for this one, chat. What do you guys think? You think, well, honestly, yeah, I'm gonna put it to members only, because like, I think I was probably being a bit too harsh with the hot takes. I'm really not trying to hurt anyone's feelings, so I will put that one to members only, but I did want to just talk about that stuff anyway. Like, those are the kind of things that I won't say in a video, but I wanted to say it at some point. You said you have 2 separate JJK topics you'd love to hear your thoughts on. Yeah, I'll be able to talk about them next stream, or if you're in the Discord, you can ask me and I'll talk about them there too. We definitely need to get more like One Piece power scalers in the chat too, because like my chat right now only has a very small number of people who power scale One Piece, and I'd like it if there was like 30. I think we have like 3 people who like so in my Discord right now we have people who like never really or very rarely ever do text debates, and then we have people who like only do let me word it better. We have people who like just do voice chat, and then we have people who just do text, and we have some people who like just do the streams. Like on a daily basis though, like on average we got like 3 people doing One Piece, like on average about 3 each day. It would be nice if it was like 30, because we have like that's kind of how it is with JJK. We got a lot of people talking JJK every day, so it would be cool if it was like that for One Piece too. Weary, yo, thank you for another donation, Weary. I appreciate it a lot. You said to amend this plot, Kuna took another binding vow. Now he has to call Yuji Your Excellency, but in return he gets 500% cursed energy boost and unlimited black flashes. That's crazy work. Thank you for the donation, man. I appreciate it a lot. But all right, guys, that's it for this stream. I really appreciate it. I might do a Street Fighter stream later today. You said drop the Discord link, please. I need it. Oh wait, sure, you're not in there anymore? Wait, hold on. Wait 1 second. You said, by the way, Lilo, did you ever try Fighters? I did. It wasn't working well on my PlayStation 5, so I just got it from my laptop. I haven't tried it on my laptop though, so I do need to try that. Here, 1 second. Let me get the Discord link. Give me 1 second, guys. I think what I'm gonna do is I'll just leave it as like a comment on this stream. So this stream's about to end, and when the stream's over, it'll just be in the comments, and I'll leave the stream up for like 30 minutes or so. So if anyone wants to join the Discord, like just the link will be in the comments to this stream for like the next 30 minutes. So I'll drop it in a moment. But you said you actually have a great case for Gear 4 Luffy versus... Oh, dude, that's another donation. Dude, thank you again for the donations, bro. I really do appreciate it, Gigas, man. So yeah, in the Discord, let me know any topic you want me to talk about in the next stream. Yeah, I'd like to hear that. And yeah, I might stream Street Fighter in a little bit today. But yeah, that's it, guys. I'm going to post the Discord link, Ashura, in the comments of this, because the stream's about to end. So the live chat's gonna like go away, but I'll put it in like the normal comments, okay? But all right, guys, I'm gonna end the stream now, and then I'll put the Discord link in the comments for a bit. But all right, thanks everybody. I'll see you on the next one.